Welcome back to Under Our Skin. This is episode 2 called Beyond Survival. We're going to be talking mental health, nervous system regulation, and I'm excited to welcome our guest, doctor, nurse practitioner, Kemi Shodunke. So I just want you to tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Well, thank you so much for having me on here. It is such an honor to be here and to be able to lend my voice. So my name is Dr. Kemi Shodunke. I'm a doctoral prepared psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner and owner of Sound Minds Psychiatry, LLC. We are located in Mansfield, Massachusetts, and we provide outpatient mental health services to patients in our community.
Well, one thing I want to say that I love about you and your practice is that you are also recognized as a faith-based practice, essentially.
Yes.
So it's not just you leading with your expertise in the area of mental health, but we're also including God into this space, because you can't have peace in a stress-free life without the one who gives peace. So I just want to say I love that, because that's something that we don't have enough of, especially in the Black community. So to open us up, right, one question that I have is how do we begin to identify signs of being in survival mode or even just mental health conditions before we're diagnosed? Like, how can we begin to spot these things so that way we can kind of raise a red flag, like, okay, like something is off here, instead of waiting until last minute?
That's a great question, and thank you for bringing that up. And so I say mental health is kind of like a relationship that we have with ourselves. The way you take care of your physical health, right, it's the same way you really should be taking care of your mental health. And unfortunately, these things take the back seat for a lot of us because we're busy, rightfully so. We're busy with schoolwork, our lives, and the society we live in glorifies the hustle.
Yes.
And so there's that. And the symptoms usually start at least years before, people actually start to seek help for it. And they're really subtle. The little subtle signs start to creep in when you start to notice, your mood changes. You're irritable.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the things that used to bring you joy just don't bring you joy anymore, and you really could care less.
Yeah.
The places you used to visit that you'd be excited about, the things that you'd be so psyched up to do, don't really matter to you anymore. And then sleep is also usually an indicator that something is wrong.
Yeah.
Sleep quality, right? Not sleeping at least 7 to 9 hours every night. Racing thoughts can't seem to shut your mind off because your mind is telling you that you need to keep working.
Yeah.
And that there's
something,
right. And that there's something that you haven't done. And so, rest becomes luxury when truly we all deserve rest. So these things start to happen. And it's one thing if it happens as a one-off, you had a bad day or a tough weekend, but when it's happening every day, and it's impacting the quality of your life.
Yeah.
Meaning you show up to work tired, you show up to school tired just because you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
You're not getting enough sleep. Your appetite's changing. You're losing weight. You're hearing things, hearing voices, seeing things, and you'd rather be alone. You prefer isolation. Those are your subtle symptoms. And it's important that you speak to someone about it before it becomes an issue. And more often than not, I always say that the sooner you identify and address these issues, the better, before it becomes a full-blown problem.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually really love that. And one thing that stuck with me the first time that I saw you speak at the SPIMA New Year's dinner, she said, rest is not a privilege, it's a business strategy.
That's right.
And I've been myself, like, I struggle with, trying to, I'm a productive person. And one thing I'm leading with into this year is really learning how to balance rest with productivity. And I think whether you're a woman or a man, I think it's important, God rested. after creating everything.
Correct.
And so I find it, even for myself, sometimes it's difficult to like shut my brain off. And I'm just like, okay, I also understand what it's like to be in those situations where it's like, okay, I can't rest because I need to do X, Y, Z. And I'm sure you also probably experienced it too, like
Absolutely.
being a business owner, right?
Correct.
You said one thing about like how, you know, when we begin to reach a state where things don't feel fulfilling anymore, especially for a person who's building, it can be very easy for them to just get trapped in the, okay, like I need to do this, I need to do that, like I can't really relax until I build this and it looks like XYZ, right? How do we begin to create balance? Like, is it just about rest? Is it also about, you know, creating a life where we have experiences that we actually enjoy? How do we find those things again when we've lost them?
Very good question. And I'll tackle this multiple ways. So here's what I would say. We have been conditioned to thinking that our value is tied to productivity and how busy we are. And it's unfortunate because that's the culture, that's the society we live in. And if you're not busy enough and you're not hustling or you don't appear so, society makes you feel as though you're failing.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. So it really starts with a mindset shift. You have to know who you are, what your goals are. And as long as you're working towards those goals, that's the standard.
Yeah.
You're your own standard, right? Because if you use other people as a standard, you would never be up to par.
Yeah.
And so that's where it starts. It's the mindset. Your mindset has to be right, and your mindset has to be in line with your goals, meaning know when enough is enough, when you've had enough and you've done enough, you take a break.
Yeah.
And that when you do take a break, it's not a reward, it's a necessity. It's a must have.
It's a part of the process.
Precisely. Precisely. And so once you change your mindset about how you view the hustle and how you view work, I think it becomes a little bit easier because it's all about our mind and how we process things and the things that we take in and how we process those things as well. And so for me, even as a business owner, when I first started my business, of course, I had to grind a little bit harder, but it got to a point where I knew it wasn't sustainable, and I started to remind myself of the things that I know, right? That my worth is not tied to productivity and being busy all the time, because there's always going to be something to do.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something to do.
For sure. So. My next question is really catered to those of us who are leaders in the mental health space or even the wellness space. A lot of our purpose and our, you know, careers are catered to taking care of other people, teaching them how to take care of themselves. And it gets to a point where in doing that and trying to fill up their cup, we lose some of our own. And it's not that we don't know what to do, because I mean, we're teaching them what to do. We know these things, but it's like, how, even for you, I want to actually touch on your own experience. What has that been like for you? And what has your journey with trying to create balance within your own self-care, your relationship with yourself, and your regulating your own nervous system, like what has that looked like for you?
So I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't been easy. If I sat here and said I did everything right and I do this, I eat my greens, I eat my vegetables, and no. Because it's not realistic. And you know, I do appreciate, you know, keeping it real, and I think that's what, you know, people can relate to, is how can you do it all? You can't, right? I certainly don't do it all. There's certain areas that I feel as though I'm failing at, but then I'm reminded by my family that actually you're not failing. But because I hold myself to such a high standard, I feel like I'm failing. But again, it's a mindset shift, and I'm learning every day. So let's just put it this way, I'm a work in progress. Some of the things that have helped me is my faith, worship, and working out. So those two things are my vice, right? And they help regulate my nervous system especially before my day even starts.
Yeah.
So I try to get at least 30 minutes of exercise in every day just to clear my head and reset and have a, focused approach in the morning. And so that has helped me. And just listening to worship songs while I'm at it has also really helped me. Again, it sets the tone for my day. It balances my nervous system, and I'm more regulated. I'm able to just focus on what I need to do and think clearly. So those two things have been huge in my journey. Other things that have also helped me is just reminding myself that I am deserving of the care, the love, and the attention that I give to others.
That's a big one.
Right, because we get stuck in this go 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 cycle, and it's almost like it's not enough. You got to keep going, got to keep doing more. Nothing wrong with that, but it's important to also show yourself the same love that you give to others. Because think about it, we're hard on ourselves, but then we're so soft and kind to others. And that has been my way. I'm a retired glorified people pleaser. I love, it brings me joy to make
other people happy.
other people happy. That's just who I am. And there's nothing wrong with that, but
balance and
boundaries. Exactly. It's the two B's. And you can do that, but have balance and boundaries and know when to say no, not feel guilty for saying no, and prioritizing yourself, because otherwise you're not good to anybody else. So what's the point? So I have to remind myself of that and tell myself that I deserve nice things. I deserve to be spoken to nicely. I deserve to do nice things for myself. Sometimes I go a little overboard, but
you deserve it.
It's part of the journey.
For sure.
Yes.
I love that, because even for me, like, I've noticed that what works in one season doesn't always work in the next one. And I've had to navigate, switching up what that looks like. And I remember in episode 1, we talked about the person that I had, the guest that I had, we talked about how, like, it's a bunch of different tools. You just kind of pick what works for you at that moment. And so for me, I would also relate to you. Like, I think really regulating my body and, my mind through movement has been big for me, and really just being in the presence of God before I'm in the presence of anybody else really helps to reset. And sometimes it's like, you don't need to do all the 10 things that you're seeing, the influencers talk about, or all of these different practitioners talk about. Sometimes you just need to pick 1 or 2. It's about quality and not quantity, essentially.
Precisely. So this is what I tell my clients, and it applies to me too. If you can take care of these top 3 things, you're already on the right path. Movement, number 1, right? At least 30 minutes a day. And this works for everything. It works for your mental health, your physical health, your cardiovascular health. It helps with everything. As long as you're getting your heart rate up, you're golden. That's number 1. Number 2, sleep and sleep hygiene. You have to get at least 7 to 9 hours every day. So crucial, so important, because when you go with no sleep, it adds up, and then you burn and you crash, and that doesn't help anyone, right? And then what you eat, right? What you put into your body. Food is medicine. Food has become medicine, and we live in a society where everything is chemicalized. And it's even when you shop for groceries at the what's it called, organic grocery store, it's still not all the way organic. So it's important that you really watch what you eat, and that you're eating the right food, you're balancing it with the right classes of food, fruits, vegetables, healthy carbs, fiber, all those good things. Now we're all going to have our days, and that's part of life. But if you're eating clean at least 80% of the time,
you'll be fine.
You'll be okay.
Like, one day is not going to kill you.
Exactly.
In your experience, but even before, like, becoming a mental health professional, how have you noticed the different ways that culture has shaped, how we express or even talk about mental health or even emotions in the Black community, the African community? Because I feel like a lot of the times we focus on, being resilient, being strong, or replacing faith with the emotions that God has also given us.
Right.
So in your experience, like, what are some of the things that you have noticed or you have picked up on, and like, how can we start to shift the language around that?
Of course, that's a loaded question there. First thing I'll say about that is, resilience is not the absence of strength, right? And that's, again, back to the whole mindset thing. Changing your mindset to understand what resilience truly means. From a cultural standpoint, we were raised to stay quiet, stay silent, not complain too much, push through, and we grew up that way. Now, some of it has been very advantageous, not going to lie, because we are high achieving individuals and that has sort of shaped us. But comes a point where you have to draw the line and understand for yourself that it's okay to voice out when you're struggling. It's okay to struggle to begin with, and it's okay to seek help. Our culture has taught us to believe that when you seek help or when you're struggling, then something is wrong with you. And then, there's also the faith aspect of things, right? I'm a woman of faith, grew up in a Christian home, and we were taught to pray, and we still do. We still pray. But times have changed now where, faith and prayer will do what it does, and science and therapy will do what it does. And both of them can coexist in the same space.
Yeah.
And that's where the balance comes in. So it's a mindset shift in knowing for yourself and understanding, one, who you are as a person, what your boundaries are, right? And leaning into your strengths and knowing when to ask for help.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't feel comfortable speaking up due to fear of being judged from a cultural standpoint, then that's a problem. One. Two, you're stuck in the same old mindset, and you really need to change that belief system. We still very much pray, and believe in God, strong believing people, Bible believing Christians, but we also know that God himself does not come down to force his hand to have you do something. He just won't. So God will do the supernatural work, but you've got to do the physical work. You've got to take care of your mind. The mind God gave you, what are you doing with it? Right?
I really love that.
And that's where that balance comes in. A lot of education, of course, has to happen in mindset shift so that people feel comfortable with saying, you know what, I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know what, I need a break. And even as a mom, as a business owner, I have no problem telling my kids, my friends, whoever asks that I'm tired.
Yeah.
Because it's okay. I'm not meant to go, nonstop.
Yeah.
I'm human, and it's okay to be tired.
Yeah.
Just know when you need to stop and balance that out. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength, if you ask me, because it takes strength to be able to own it.
Despite what other people
think.
Yeah, that's so good. And one revelation that God has given me is like, part of just health in general, he already knows how he has wired us. He has given us our own emotions. He has created us in and out. He knows everything about us. And I think part of understanding our health and advocating for ourselves is really just vocalizing what he already knows.
Yes.
Right? And like, even with science is really just discovering what God already secretly knew. Exactly. And we're new to the party. Like, we're just entering the party and we're learning about it. And I think another thing too is, when we're constantly having to, I know in my own experience, like for me, right? Same thing. I grew up with having to, kind of be quiet when something feels off. Having to just be strong, having to push through it. And sometimes that has translated also into my relationship with God. And we kind of don't want to even ask him for help, right? And so, because there's two parts to it. You need to be asking him for help when you're tired, because like we said, he already knows.
Yes.
He just wants us to meet him halfway and open our mouth to say it,
Yes.
and really surrender in those moments. But also, he has sent people specifically to help us
Precisely.
to recover and to be restored, because he wouldn't send you and I, right, to be in these industries where we're designed to help people, but then also have those same people who are needing our help have to be mute and shut up and not tell us, like, okay, like, this is what I need.
Yes.
Because then what would be the point of us doing our line of work?
Exactly.
Right. So
Exactly.
I really love that. And I love the two-pronged approach where it's like, God will take care of the supernatural, but we also are in our physical bodies, and we're living this experience. We have to do something about it too.
Precisely. Everything that we need, I say, to thrive and survive has already been provided for us. We just need to tap into it.
Yeah.
And that's where we fail.
Yeah.
Due to one reason or another. Because everything we need, God has made. He made everything beautiful. Now, are we tapping into everything? No. We need to.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to get comfortable with speaking up, get comfortable with asking for help. We can't say, oh, God knows I love him and God knows I'm thankful, so I'm not going to say thank you, God, today. Does that make sense?
Because even
you still need to say it.
Because even with a friend or a spouse, like, they probably know that you love them, but they want to hear it still, right? So from a psychiatric perspective, when it comes to healing, right? Because I think a lot of us have we know we need to heal. We understand that there's been trauma and there's issues and it shows up in our life. But I think sometimes it keeps us from, a relationship or entering a new opportunity because we feel like, okay, we can't do it until we're fully healed. So from a psychiatric perspective, when it comes to healing, is there ever a final destination, or or is it something that's long term, right? Like, what is it truly, and how can we begin to understand healing and what exactly it is?
Healing is a lifelong journey. There's no end to it.
Yeah.
As long as we're breathing, as long as we're here, we're going to continue to work on our minds and our healing. And we have to change our approach as to how we view it. You can't just go to 5 therapy sessions and say, oh, I'm done. I don't need it anymore. Okay. Well, maybe you won't need it for another 6 months, but then a year later, boom, something happens and back to it. So I think it's a lifelong journey. It's a relationship, right? And we have to embrace it. We have to get comfortable with embracing it and understanding that something bad or catastrophic doesn't have to happen before we tend to our minds. We just need to take care of it like we would anyways, like every single day. Meditate every day. Do your deep breathing exercises every day. Journal every day. Do what you need to do to care for your mind every day.
You don't have to wait till the car breaks down or everything's like the engine's all messed up before you finally get a oil change, but just for maintenance, right?
Correct.
And so one thing that I've been trying to understand, and I think probably the audience as well too, is like, when things are going well, what does still continuing mental health practices look like, or regulating our nervous system? Is it just continuing with our routine of, like, for example, how we said, you like to work out, being in that worship, or even like when we're going to our therapy sessions, but everything has been going well, like, what do we talk about? What do we bring to the table? Do we start to go back into childhood stuff and really try to continue that work? Or, is it only just focusing on what's in front of us, or like, what does that look like?
Okay, so it depends. And this is going to vary from person to person, depending on trauma, background, depending on what they've got going on. But here's what I would say. It's a journey. It's a continuous journey. You can't neglect yourself and expect things to continue to go well.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way, right? So in terms of daily practices, you have to continue that. Exercise, sleeping well, eating well, saying no, having firm boundaries, making sure that you are getting the rest that you need. All those things are important for you on a day-to-day basis to continue to maintain a healthy, balanced life and, keep your mental health in check. Now, if you're dealing with trauma, you want to go see a therapist. Your therapist will help you navigate that and give you tools that you would be able to use to navigate that, so that when things show up again, you're more regulated in terms of your response. Because trauma is usually, it's the lasting effects of trauma. The trauma has happened, whatever happened in the past has happened. It's how it makes you feel now and how it shows up now that we need to address. And it's usually about how we respond to things and things that may have caused us trauma in the past. When they show up now, how do you respond? And so therapy helps you with those tools that you need so you can pull them right out of your back pocket and put them to use. Now, you could go through, therapy for trauma specifically and feel like, you know what, we've covered everything. I feel better. I know how to cope. But you have to continue to maintain those tricks and tips that you've been given so that you're able to continue to utilize them and not break down when situations arise and things come up.
So aside from all of the wisdom that Kemi has shared with us today, we actually have some other goodies for you guys too. Kemi, do you want to talk about everything that you have right now, like the merch?
Yes. So, in my practice, I hand out, wellness tips all day long. I consider myself to be a holistic provider, right? I look at the whole body. When people come to me with, a disorder, I look at everything, right? Where did it start? How did it start? What are your day-to-day practices? And how do those shape and affect who you are and what we're seeing today? And so I always recommend journaling to my clients because it's a way to just take some time and reflect. Reflect on how the day went or how the week went. Write down your thoughts. We carry a lot in our head. Our heads are full all day, about to explode. And so, and people genuinely don't know how to start. They're like, how do I start? What do I write? How do I even put it into words? So we came out with we launched our own Sound Minds Gratitude Journal.
I love that. Now, do you have like prompts? Because I know for me, I love prompts.
Yes. So this comes with 180 days worth of journaling prompts. Very simple questions every day that just require some reflection. Nothing too serious, nothing crazy. It's really simple and straightforward. But you have to think about the answer. And the way I tell my clients to utilize this, put your phone away and then just answer the questions and write down any additional thoughts that you may have. And this has been coming in super handy for a lot of people. Folks that don't know where to start, this is a good starting point. And if you've been journaling before and just need some prompts, this is also, a good tool to have. Nothing else keeps us regulated or regimented than knowing you have to do this at the end of your day. Right?
Or the beginning too.
Or the beginning, but uninterrupted.
I love how simple it is too, because I think sometimes like it can be overwhelming. So I love how simplified you
very
made
simple.
And it causes you to be, because I read some of the questions, and it causes you to be very intentional about how you go through your day. I would probably even recommend like maybe reading the prompts in the morning and then answering them at the end of the day, so you know what things to like pay attention to.
Exactly. However it works for you. The point is to give you a tool, a simplified tool to just help you create some time and structure in your day that you get to spend with yourself. Because we give ourselves to people every single day. And another thing that we launched as well was our natural candles.
They smell so good.
So this, the way I tell my clients to use this, and I also do the same thing. I burn it for an hour before I go to bed, and it just sets the environment and sets the tone for the remainder of the night.
Wait, can I say something? This says 50 hours.
I know, but I burn it for an hour every night. That's it.
No, but imagine how long that would last you.
Exactly.
So like that's what I was saying. Like some candles. Okay, so I will say this: I love natural products.
It's all natural.
This is all natural. It's gonna last you a long time, and it smells amazing. How do you say geisha?
Yes, that's Geisha's Grace, and this is Lavender Mist.
I love this.
And it's all hand poured by Adra Candles in North Carolina.
Okay.
And this was made just for Sound Minds Psychiatry.
I love it.
Because we only do natural over here.
I love this because this smells like very clean, like luxury, but like
Exactly.
natural at the same time. Like it's easy on the nose.
Right.
And this one gives me like I'm about to run myself a bubble bath and just like
Exactly.
chill out for the night.
Exactly.
So I love that.
Yes.
And
yes.
then we also have her merch.
Yes.
So it's the logo. It says the journey begins with you.
Yes.
And then
And
the back. Protect your peace. I love that. Protect your peace.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a great way to, you know, support the movement of Sound Minds Psychiatry, everything
Thank
that they
you.
stand for.
Thank you.
You know, we're emerging in healthcare,
Yes.
just more Black professionals and practitioners. And I think this is a great way to represent what she's doing here.
It is. It is.
Get yours. So I do want to just thank you for everything today. It was such a pleasure. I'm so grateful for just like the wisdom that you have to offer. I think a lot of us are starting to realize like, okay, guys, something is wrong and we need to like work on that. Mm-hmm. And you've given me even a lot of insightful tools that I know I'm going to take away today.
You're so welcome. The pleasure is mine. If I can do a little good, it'll go a long way. Yes. In my opinion, right? So whatever good you know how to do it. Yeah. And I'll do the same. And then the world becomes a better place as a result. So that's what we're all about. And so this can be purchased. We have links on our DMs. So they can. I'll put the link in our bio, actually. I can add it. So if you go to our bio, you can find the link there. You can also go to her page. Yes. Sound Minds Psychiatry. Yes. Sound Minds Psychiatry on Instagram. So thank you guys and tune into the next episode. Take